Birdland Tonight is your place for Orioles post-game coverage for fans by fans. All of the hosts on Birdland Tonight are Oriole fans that are either writing blogs or doing podcasts about Orioles. Head on over to birdlandtonight.com to learn more about the hosts and other shows and websites that they're a part of. And head on over to Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch and subscribe, follow, or like, whatever the appropriate thing is, to Birdland Sports. Finally, share, retweet, and tell your friends about Birdland Tonight so that we're all joined into the conversation after every Orioles game this year. We'll see you guys in just a couple minutes. Head on over to the comment sections on Facebook and Twitch and YouTube to start interacting now. We'll see you soon. Did you know Birdland Tonight is also a podcast? Head on over to your favorite podcast app and subscribe to Birdland Tonight to get the audio of this show every morning ready for your commute. Thanks for joining us. We'll get started in just 1 minute. Make sure that you have subscribed to us on your favorite social media. Look up Birdland Sports on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Like, follow, retweet, share. See you in a moment. All right, welcome to Birdland Tonight. I feel like yesterday's past couple of games we had some fun to talk about as we had 2 wins in a row. But here we are on Tuesday night, and things just never clicked for the Orioles tonight. So they lost 5-1 to the Yankees, as you probably just saw. Joe, how you doing?
That's all I can say, Josh. That's all I have for you.
It was a tough loss because 2 things were happening at the same time. We had Zimmerman struggle and have his worst out outage of the season, and it kind of just fell apart immediately. And then we had the bats not getting runs in, which seems to be a continuing problem for this team.
At some point, we just have to accept that. We've talked about this, but I'm growing increasingly concerned that this is, what we're going to see from some of these guys. I know it's still early, but I feel like every time we're on here, I keep saying that it's still early. It's still early. It's still early.
I mean, we're a month in. We're almost a month in. Next week will be a month in, or I guess 4 days from now will be a month in to the season. So it's always going to be a small sample size. It's always going to be a rough beginning because it's the beginning of the rebuild. As far as Zimmerman, I mean, you're going to have the Yankees lineup is pretty stacked. So to have a young guy like Zimmerman have a poor performance, it was bound to happen at some point.
Sure. I mean, it's by no stretch of the imagination surprising to have that. I mean, this is 2 starts in a row now, though. I think last outing he went 4 2. Didn't make it out of the 4th inning this time. But is this a guy that we're expecting to be there when the rebuild is over? I don't know. I don't think many people necessarily are expecting that whenever the rebuild is over. So sure, these types of outings you're going to get from a guy like him, and you move on, you keep it moving, you're not losing sleep over it.
Sure, and I mean the rest of the pen, Tate was fine. He gave up a run. Again, that's what happens against the Yankees. We gave up home runs to Stanton. We gave up a home run to Judge. Yeah, I see there's a comment coming in about some weird clicking audio. There is something going on with Joe's mic.
Oh, is there? Is it my mic?
Yeah.
I was wondering whose mic.
I was
blaming you for it.
No.
In my head, I was saying, "Gosh, what's Josh got going on?"
All right. Well, you just fixed it. Whatever you did. So, but we'll figure that out. But I guess if we wanted to take some positives away from this pitching staff, it'll be that Sulcer continued to do what he does. He pitched 1 1/3 innings, no runs, 2 strikeouts. And then after that, we got to see the premiere of Jay Flaw make his Major League debut. The 5th Oriole this season to make the Major League debut. And,
finally got to rock my Jay Flaw jersey tonight. I've been waiting to get that out.
Right. I'm interested to see how much Jay Flaw sticks around because I think just because of the name, he could become a fan favorite. And, hey, if he puts up innings like he did today, well, minus the 2 walks, but if he can put in some scoreless innings, the fans will like him for that as well. So.
Jay Flaw will he be here by Friday, by the end of the homestand?
No. He's going down. He's going down on what? Tomorrow for Kramer. Tomorrow's Kramer, right?
Yes. Yeah. So it would be tomorrow.
Yeah. So goodbye, Flaw.
It was fun. It was a great tenure.
And we learned this week. All right, we'll fix your mic later. It's fine. We'll deal with it.
Is it still my mic?
It's still making a noise. Yeah.
I muted it and everything, Josh. This is.
Well, when you mute it, the noise goes away.
Let me see.
See, it sounds perfect. Listen to this beautiful stream. Don't worry. You are the Ryan Mountcastle of the podcast. You're trying really hard. You're hitting the ball hard, and nothing's working.
Like my Ryan Mountcastle, you should send me down then to work on the craft.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll deal with it for this show. And apologies to those of you who are listening. But I mean, let's talk about this lineup for a while. Because the lineup has continued to struggle to kind of get people into for runs. The left on base number for today is 21. 21 opportunities we were at the plate and had 21 guys that we could have knocked around. So big problem. 7 hits. The positive from the bats is only 8 strikeouts tonight. That's 1 down from yesterday. We're staying in that single-digit territory. So that's all right. But Cody's right. Again, commenting on when you're going to pull someone, you had to pull someone up for Galvis. Why Pat Valaika? And I feel like Cody's saying that as many of us Oriole fans who we kind of are done with Pat Valaika. Right? I mean, Joe, are you feeling the same way? Like you were we saw all that Pat Valaika can do last year.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. You see Pat Valaika in the lineup at short, and it's just like, what are we doing? Why? Why is he's not part of the rebuild process? He's not going to be. I don't know. It's very frustrating as
right. If you bring up a guy, Cody and I last week were talking about the possibility of bringing Richie Martin up. If you bring up a guy like Richie Martin, even if he doesn't put up numbers, you at least have the potential of he's a prospect. He was a Rule 5 guy, 2 years ago? He's a young guy. He's got way more potential than Pat Valaika.
Of course.
He's probably a better second baseman, and this team doesn't have a second baseman. So you might want to also bring him up and look at him to stick around at second base once Galvis can play short again. Sure.
I think he's the guy that most fans wanted to see called up. And again, it's just frustrating. That's all. I mean, throw us a bone, throw the fans something. You know, we're sticking through it here, but
I mean,
Chance Cisco's another one that I'm ready to.
Oh yeah, but
to send off.
I agree. As fans, we're all tired of Cisco. I mean, he was up twice tonight in big moments of the game and couldn't do anything. So we're all done with Chance Cisco. The problem is I feel bad for Chance Cisco because as much as we're done with Chance Cisco, he also has Adley behind him. And we've all decided that Adley fixes all problems and that he's perfect.
I feel bad for people that has to watch him, Josh. That's what I feel bad for.
For people that got to watch Chance Cisco?
Yes, that's what I feel bad for.
Yeah, the sad part, though, is that he is not the worst bat in our lineup. We do not have, if there's any more examples, keep looking. We still don't have a second baseman. Ruiz struggled today. He did get a hit today, but he struck out twice. He's batting 153. Brought in Urias as a pinch hitter late in the game.
That should have been
Huh?
No, sorry. I'm sorry for jumping. I was going to say that should have been the theme for the night. That we rank the top 5 worst batsmen. We'll see where he falls.
We'll get there. Because Urias is 152. Pat Valaika, all right, really small sample size, but he's 0.77. So, I guess he got a couple hits early in the season because
such a high ceiling though. There's such a high ceiling for Valaika. That's the big thing that you're missing.
No, the big concern with this lineup, because we all just have to laugh at second base because it's not a real person. They might as well put one of us out there to play second base. We accept that. That's what you do in Little League. That's what you do in middle school, high school ball. You hide someone at second base. I've never seen it at the major league level, and that's what we're doing. So it's okay. The real question is, what do we do with Mountcastle? And at this 175, is he someone that we got to send down to Bowie, or does he have to keep working through these struggles here? Because if you want to send him to Bowie for this alt site stuff, this is really your last week to get that focus of the alternate site. Because minor leagues start up next week.
Mountcastle spent so long in the minors. Wasn't he 5 years? I'm pretty sure he was 5 years down there. But before coming up last year, I don't know. I don't know if you can send him back down. I feel like he's got to either he's got to work his way out at the major league level or not. I don't know.
Yeah, well, he was drafted in 2015. So that's 6 years through the system. I mean, it's not right. I mean, that's not horrible. I mean, he was drafted
He's young.
out of high school.
Yeah, he's young.
Still, that's 24 years old if I'm doing the math right.
So, carry the 2, yeah, 24 years old.
24 years old. So we've seen guys come into the majors from the Orioles organization a lot older with a lot more time in the minors. So I don't want to write Mountcastle off. I just want to know how we get him better. At first I thought it was bad luck. He was hitting the ball, but now it's not working. Another strikeout. He had his left on base number is 4. That's enough to change the game. But the problem is every batter in this lineup got up to the plate with a runner on base. And they couldn't knock anyone in. That's a huge problem. Every batter in the lineup left someone on base tonight.
Sure. I mean, outside of Mullins, who you trusting to get a hit? There's not anybody even batting above, looks like 250.
Yeah,
Hayes
is 250. Well, Franco's also 264.
264.
And Galvis, before he got hurt, he was batting pretty good too.
Past couple of weeks he was up. Yeah. I think 350 in the last 2 weeks he was hitting, so he was definitely coming on.
And Kluber pitched a good game, but he didn't pitch a Kluber level game. He was vulnerable, and we just never took advantage of it.
Nope. But I mean that's not atypical for this season, not at all. I mean it almost doesn't matter who's out there pitching. Yeah, we gotta do something. You know what? You've changed my mind. Send him down. Send Mountcastle down, and let him get some work down there.
My thing is, if you're going to send Mountcastle down, do it right now before minor leagues start. I don't want him to have to ride the bus and go with Norfolk down to Jacksonville and all that. If you're going to send him down, do it now and bring him right back up. Let him skip, and it's the perfect timing because he can skip the West Coast trip. Let him stay here while you go out there.
I'll text Brandon tonight, and
take care of that.
Done. Yeah,
I will. I don't know if you caught the show on Saturday. I was pretty angry because we learned on Saturday that Brandon doesn't control this team. Mike Elias does, because there's no way Brendan Hyde would have put Wade LeBlanc out as his starting pitcher.
I did see it, and I was cracking up at some of your tweets and comments.
Let's just say it's very good. When I had to do, I think I've done every one of these since then. So I've done 4 in a row. And let's just say it's very good that the Orioles decided to win 2 games after that performance on Saturday, because it definitely got me off the negative.
Yeah, right.
But
no,
Orioles,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean the good part is all this struggles. The Orioles are supposed to be bad this year, so they're 10-13, 4.5 out, 435 winning percentage. But what really matters is it's tied with the New York Yankees.
Sure.
So they're just as bad as us. With a
Yankees
payroll 5 times the size.
The Yankees are not better than the Orioles this year. Yet.
It's going to be interesting. And this comes back to that whole small sample side, because I thought the Boston Red Sox were not going to be good this year. And they're having a great start. I don't know if it can sustain, but it's a great start at least.
Yeah, I think that's one. They'll come back down, because no one in our division is. What are the Red Sox? 14-11. Is that what they're? Again, it's not like they're
right. Again, this is what makes baseball such a great sport: is the 162 games. You really have to work through that whole year.
It all comes out in the wash in baseball.
Right. And then you get that, and then you get the playoffs where you got a chance to be hot, just like every other sport, and try to get through. No, I don't have a whole lot of stuff to take away from this game, except it was exactly what I expect from this team. Like yesterday was fun because we played better than we should. Matt Harvey pitched great. Today it was like, this is what I expect from a team that's not supposed to do anything this year.
What do you think? I saw something today. I don't remember where I saw it, but starting to speculate about trades and what they're going to be doing. Is Harvey a guy you think that it's so hard, I feel like, to lose rotation pieces right now when we have so few? But
Harvey's only reason Harvey's here is to be traded. Like, we all know that. Now, Matt Harvey has become a fan favorite because we like the comeback story.
Sure.
We
like
love
the Dark Knight.
The fact that Matt Harvey was in the National League when he was great. So we never got to see him pitch and face him. So now we get to see him. It was so much fun to see him pitch the home opener because I got to check off, now I've seen Matt Harvey in person. And the fact that he's doing well and each start he seems to get better is just icing on top. And that means that we will be able to trade him for something, you would think, if this continues. But yeah, he's not part of this rebuild. You don't care about winning this year. So obviously Matt Harvey's the guy that you need to trade. Now, the problem is I don't think there's anyone else on this team that has shown anything that you can trade at this point.
The problem is, unless you want to see Angry Josh back on Twitter, there needs to be another major league pitcher to fill his slot.
But no, we've got the major league pitchers. Zach Lothar, Keegan Aiken. We've got
right.
two guys in the wings.
Why aren't they? Right. Why aren't they? Right.
They're not pitching because we're trying to trade Matt Harvey and let them get more development time. I mean, I don't think Lopez is a future here. I think Harvey and Lopez are stopgaps. Zimmerman, I'm not sure about. What he showed today wouldn't carry, but can he be this back end rotation guy? Maybe, but I don't know. I'm kind of thinking you might have Means, Keegan, Aiken in this future rotation, and then you got some of these other young guys like Hall and what's the guy from Australia that was highly touted? I don't remember if he still is. But we've got these young guys, and we got to remember also that Mike Elias is going to sign someone, and hopefully we have a second baseman in our farm system so we can invest money in a real ace to really round out this rotation when it's time to win.
I'm pulling up here. Let's see what Means' contract is.
Means will go into arbitration in
next year.
Yeah,
22. He's arbitration first year eligible.
So there's definitely fans saying, "Oh, trade Means." That makes no sense to me because Means is still going to be cheap during his arbitration years. And those arbitration years are when I think the Orioles are going to start winning, so you would want him here.
Sure. I mean, goodness, pitching the way really he has outside of, last year's shortened season, of course, and what his last 4 starts or so last year were good.
Right.
But to me, when I watch him and of course look at his results, but his demeanor on the mound, to me, he seems like the real deal.
Yeah, there's 2 people right now that I'm believing on this team.
I'm curious who the second is.
Cedric Mullins.
Really? You're all in.
I'm all in on Cedric Mullins.
Okay.
I really think that stint to Project Bowie last year fixed something. I think this lack of switch hitting has done wonders for him, and I know he's got to be kicking himself that he didn't do this years ago. And I think it's an interesting lesson, and we might down the road hear this Cedric Mullins lesson being taught to high school kids and college kids that switch hitting doesn't always make you more valuable if it weakens you. So I really have believed now that Cedric Mullins is part of the future of this team.
I hope you're right. Now, he started late. I think I read somewhere that it was like his senior year in high school or something. He started switch hitting. So he's
and it makes sense. I understand why you would try to switch hit.
Sure.
You think, you can put me in the lineup every day, and that makes sense. It's just like trying to teach your kid to throw left-handed because he's going to have an advantage when there's not many other left-handed pitchers.
Right.
So I get that, but
I mean, that's why I put a mitten on my 2-year-old's right hand, so he uses his left hand for everything right now.
For
that reason.
No, you got to break that hand, so there's really no use of it.
I'll teach you. That'll teach him.
I guess overall, I mean, it's weird because this is a Yankees series that right now we're 1-1. We won yesterday, they won today. I saw this as us losing all 4. And I drink as much orange Kool-Aid as anyone. I got the orange glasses here. But I saw this as the Yankees have been so bad. They're coming into Baltimore with, this is Camden Yards. All we do is hit home runs in Camden Yards. This is our chance to fix this and bounce back and get 4 wins. 4 wins in Camden Yards, and we're back up in first place. So I saw them coming in with that mentality. The fact that we got one yesterday was huge. If we can get one tomorrow, that would be even bigger, especially when we've got Dean Kramer coming in. So I want to see Dean Kramer have a great start after this stint of sending him down.
Yeah, of course, want to see these young guys, and to see Kramer get the win tomorrow would be great to go into that getaway day with at least a series split against these guys.
Yeah, except Yeah. Well, right, because that's the thing is, yeah, if we get to win, then we've got that 1 o'clock game on Thursday. Nice long 4-game series. And then what do we have? Oh, and then we go to the West Coast for
Yeah,
Oakland,
then we're
right?
headed west. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of late nights for Birdland tonight after that. I'm thankful for the weekend series, so we have a few 4 o'clock games. But all right, any other takeaways from tonight or the state of the Orioles? I know this is a shorter episode than we've done lately, but lately I've been a little crazy on here, and we've been going 40 minutes, 50 minutes. So I think it's acceptable after tonight's disappointing loss that we go a little shorter tonight.
Sure. Any comments here you want to call up on the screen?
James is saying that he doesn't trust Martin's bat to be up to the level of Valleca right now. Valleca's batting 177. He hit 2 balls to right field and flew out. Now, that first one may have had an opportunity to be a home run if you didn't have a 7-foot guy in right field. But either way, Valleca's bat's not showing me anything.
Sure. Yeah. So forget Valleca's bat.
And all right, and what about Cody? Cody's asking about bringing up wins because obviously he's tired of Francisco as well. So is Austin Wins?
Let's bring him up. Why not? What are we? I don't know. What are we doing with Cisco? I mean, what's he bringing to the table right now? Nothing. Zero.
Right. I don't know. I hate our catcher situation because I want to see young pitchers pitch. And what's always important to me for young pitchers is catchers that can catch the ball and catchers that can play defense. And Cisco and Severino seem to have way too much trouble behind this plate. So
when can we bring up Adley? I'm impatient. When can we bring him up?
You know what? That's a business decision, not a baseball decision, I think. I'm impatient also. I really thought I would like to see him just put him up there because people say, oh, no, you got to go through single A, then double A, then triple A. He played college baseball. So college baseball is a great step into the majors. In the 90s, Ben McDonald made his debut at like 19 years old. You didn't have this. They got to wait 7 years in the minors. Now there's so much business involved and so much of that timetable stuff, which, let's be real, we've got arbitration in a year, or not arbitration, with the union. The union stuff is is next year, which means all this time eligibility stuff is probably going to change anyway. So why hold back? I would love to see Adley come up right away. I think the fact that they didn't do it on opening day, I think they're going to wait. I think they're going to give him some time in the minors. I would love to see him up by June. I think if we don't see him in June or July, then he's really not coming until next year. Maybe September, but I don't count September call-ups.
I mean, the other thing with him, though, he's 23. Okay, so coming in to play catcher, let's say, if it is until next year, 24 as a rookie, as a catcher. I mean, how many? You know what I mean? Like that's a tough position to get old in. So I do hope we can see him this year. You're right, though. It's business.
It's all business. The only
reason
it comes down to. When you looked at Sarasota in spring training, the best catcher in Sarasota was the first one sent down because they wanted to make it really clear that he has no chance of making this team, even though he got the invite. But he is the best. He's the best catcher in this organization. He might be the best catcher in baseball. So I don't know. I was trying to look up when we brought Matt Wieters up because Matt Wieters had a lot of the same fanfare. So he made his debut at the age of 23.
Yeah, 2009, I believe.
And he was 23 then. So if you want to go off that, then yeah, he bring him up.
It's time. It's time.
Bring him up.
It's time.
I'd love to see it. I also love the idea, and this might be an argument for keeping him down a little bit. I love the idea of bringing the catcher up when at the same time you're bringing up your pitchers so that they have that bond all the way through. And I think that, I guess, now that Creamer and means are up here, and they're guys I see as the future. I'd like to get Adley into that. I'd like to trade Matt Harvey, bring Aiken into this, and really start to build up this rotation with Adley behind the plate as here's our future coming together. But again, it's business. It's nothing we get to do because we don't have to deal with the money side.
Unless you're buying tickets, Josh, which are very expensive right now.
Are they?
Yeah, I was looking to go. I was surprised.
On the secondary market or regular?
No. On the O's website, I was looking to go to a game, the A series, and I was like, wow, for not even great seats, it was high.
Well, I bought tickets yesterday to go see the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, which is the AAA team, because the Norfolk Tide opened their season up down here. And I bought some general admission tickets for Saturday night, like 2 Saturdays from now, $5 a ticket.
Wow.
So
very nicely done.
I then realized it might not come with a seat because we're in Florida and it might be like the spring training stadiums where they have the field out in the outfield.
Okay.
But either way, I'm going to go see the Norfolk Tide. I hope Adley is with them. I hope they're not putting Adley in Double-A. I would have treated last season's focus at Bowie as his Double-A season and send him to Triple-A.
What a great name, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Oh yeah, it's a great name, and it's like a great minor league hat and everything. Thankfully, they're an affiliate to the Marlins, so there's no issues. I don't need to be worried that I enjoy the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Is it a Bubba Gump looking shrimp? That's what I imagine.
Of course, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, I might gotta look into that.
So
Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
All right, well, let's close out Birdland Tonight. Let's hope it goes a lot better tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I believe it is Ryan and Jimmy. I think that'll be Jimmy's first show hopping on Birdland Tonight.
Big debut, Jimmy.
So,
Shout out Jimmy.
All the pressure is on Jimmy. Make sure you hop in the comments and ask him a lot of stuff. And maybe we'll get him and Ryan to fight over Kevin Brown, because Jimmy, for some reason, has a dislike of Kevin Brown that nobody can understand, and it must be jealousy.
It's jealousy because it's impossible to listen to him and listen to the other options that we have and dislike him.
Or
that's impossible.
Right. Or just what we've had. Like, there's guys I love from my childhood and stuff, but come on, it's Kevin Brown in modern. You can't compare guys calling games in 2021 to guys that called games in the 90s and the 80s, because you have to change with the culture. And Kevin Brown's doing an excellent job. I like that he's on the. What I don't like is, and see, here's where I could go on another rant, because what has bothered me for years is Masson, because I can never understand Masson 1 and Masson 2. It makes no sense why you have to flip your games between the two. Who came up with this plan, and why didn't they just say Masson Baltimore, Masson Washington, and all the Oriole games are in Masson Baltimore, all the Masson. I think the problem is they did this Masson 1 and Masson 2 before HD came out, and only one of them was HD, and I think that's the reasoning, but that was many years ago. So the fact that they haven't fixed that and they flip-flop the channels all the time is the most irritating thing to me for Masson. Now they're doing the same logic with their broadcast crew, where they're flip-flopping who's on TV and who's on the radio and who's doing this and who's doing that, so you can't get comfortable with anyone.
In the hierarchy of rankings of businesses that cover teams, Masson has to be at the bottom, if not near the bottom. The network is terrible. The app is.
So years ago, there was this thing where you wanted to own your broadcast team because you saw the Yes Network and all the money the Yes Network was making. No one would tell the other fact that the Yes Network makes a whole lot of money because they broadcast the Yankees. It's not because they own the broadcast. And it's the same thing. You see it with the Orioles. You see it with the Ravens, where they want to be their own reporters, their own bloggers, their own podcasters. They want to control it all. And that's not always good. And I would love to see if Masson learns anything coming out of this lawsuit with the Nats. I would love for them to just sell the rights, because there's lots of money out on the table right now for rights for sports because all these internet companies want to get the rights to the sports. So sell your rights to the Orioles to YouTube or Amazon or Netflix, whatever. All these streaming services want to get into live sports because they understand that's what they're missing. So there's money on the table that someone's got to take advantage of. And I'd love to see the Orioles jump in there a little first.
I'm all for it. Sign me up.
But I will say this about the Masson. The Masson app is out, and it works.
It does.
They didn't hit opening day, but it works.
If you meet one of their qualifiers.
And I hear they just added Verizon.
Oh, good.
Which is a big thing because I've been getting in through DirecTV.
Me too. And, through DirecTV.
Because all the other providers I don't even know. I've never heard of them.
Lobos International. I'm not familiar with them.
Right, exactly. But the Orioles got to stream this up. Congratulations, Masson, on getting the app out. Everything else you do has been a mess. And technically, the app's a mess also, but one step at a time.
Selfishly, I'm pleased because I can watch it using the app.
But come on, you launched a streaming app without Comcast, who's your biggest TV provider in Maryland.
Exactly.
So it's a mess. It's the Masson way to do things. So, and I guess it's for the Nats too. And if you're in DC, your only option is Comcast. I guess maybe DirecTV, but it's ridiculous. All right. Orioles lost today, 5-1. You guys know that. Tough performance by Zimmerman. Real bad outing by the bats again. Well, left way too many people on base. That's your storyline for today. Looking ahead, I was going to say Keegan Aiken. Dream Kramer comes back tomorrow to pitch for the Orioles. Let's hope it's a bounce-back game. And we'll see you guys here on Birdland Tonight tomorrow with Ryan Blake and Jimmy from Bleacher Birds. All right. Thanks, Joe.